Hello and welcome back to Joe's Math Tools. In our session today, we will be discussing some tips that will help you list your multiples. So if you're ready, let's get started. So our first tip when listing our multiples is to remember that the first multiple of every natural number is always that number. And that number means the number that you are listing the multiples of. So for example, in my multiples for the number 4, the first multiple that I have listed for the number 4 is 4. So that means that whenever you are listing the multiples of that number should always be the first multiple. Tip number 2. The last multiple of every natural number is unknown. And the number is simply unknown because with our numbers going to infinity, our multiples will also go to infinity. Because remember that our number that we're listing the multiple of, when multiplied to another number, will give us a product. So that means the larger that we can think about our numbers will also mean the larger that we can get a multiple of a number as well. So our multiple for each number is always unknown. So take a look at my number 4. In my multiples for the number 4, even though 40 is the last multiple that I have listed, there are still an infinity number of multiples still to be listed for the number 4 that I haven't even scratched the surface of. So our multiples for the number 4 goes on to infinity. Tip number 3. All of the multiples are larger than the number that you are listing the multiples of. And if we go back to our number 4, notice that the smallest multiple I have listed is the number 4. And 4 is the number that I'm listing the multiples of. And each and every multiple that follows the number 4 increases as we move on. So please remember that when listing your multiples for any number, the smallest multiple will always be the number that you are listing the multiples of, and each of the multiples should be getting larger than the previous one. Okay, so there you have it. You were just given 3 helpful tips to help you when listing your multiples. So remember that when you are listing your multiples, put these tips into practice and be aware of the numbers that you are also listing. So make sure that you get some practice in, and we will see you right here in the next video on Joe's Math Tools, where we make math easy.